Welcome to Navigating the Customer Experience. Want to improve your organization's customer service? Looking for insider tips to knock your customer socks off? Then you're in the right place. Here's your host, Yannick Grant.
Welcome to Navigating the Customer Experience. On today's episode, we have with us a very special guest, and his name is Joshua March. Josh is the founder and CEO of Conversocial, a cloud solution that enables businesses to deliver customer service over social media at a large scale. Conversocial is used in the contact centers of hundreds of major retailers, banks, telcos, and other brands to enable them to manage the high volumes of complaints and questions they're receiving through social networks like Facebook and Twitter, including Google, Hertz, Tesco, Barclaycard, Hyatt Hotels, and many more. Now, without further delay, welcome, Josh.
Thank you. Great to be on the show.
Awesome, Josh. So could you tell us a little bit about yourself? How did you get into this whole sphere of customer service over the social medium? And why do you think it's relevant to the whole customer experience platform based on how consumers, consume information now?
Sure. So I've been working in the social media space for many years. My previous company was called iPlatform, and we were one of the first ever companies building applications on top of Facebook for brands back in 2007, 2008, in the early days. And while I was really excited about the use of the app platforms, which you may remember back then from like Farmville and stuff like that,
yes.
I was really excited about how those platforms could be used by brands to engage with their customers. What I pretty quickly realized was that the really, really big change that was happening was in just how people were communicating, and that there was this big shift going on, which it's pretty much happened now, but it's continuing to happen, away from other types of digital communication and into social media and mobile messaging, primarily on smartphones. I include mobile messaging within social media, so Facebook Messenger, Twitter DM, now WhatsApp coming up, WeChat. So it's not just the public, it's the private side as well. So I really saw that as the future of how everyone individually would be communicating with each other. And I really believed that as these channels became the dominant communication channels, then that would change how businesses had to communicate with their customers too. And that would be really important for customer service. And that certainly happened. The start of that was really people turning to the public side of social media to kind of escalate complaints about a business up and get a response. And while that still goes on, it's actually transitioned now to be much more about businesses just investing into the private side, private messaging of these channels as the preferred customer service channels. And there's a lot of reasons for that. It's much better from a customer side. It's so effortless and easy for someone to pull out their phone and message a brand that it means that you get really high customer satisfaction if you promote it as a service channel. And from a business perspective, obviously it's great to get that customer satisfaction, but it's also a very efficient channel. You can manage these digital messaging channels in this asynchronous way that's highly efficient from an agent workflow perspective. And with the launch of the bot platform, it's much easier to automate. And so it's just become this channel that is really just much better than anything else out there from both a cost perspective and a customer satisfaction perspective.
Mm-hmm. All right. So your company caters more to organizations that are serving customers on a large scale, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Can the service also be provided to persons who are not serving customers on a large scale?
Yeah. So the background to that was that we've been going 5-6 years now, and our software is kind of real customer service software. We put a lot of time building a real case management system into the ability to have automated routing and workflows, dashboards where you can see exactly what your agents are doing. Now, all of those kind of functionality become really useful as soon as you have a team of agents. Now, if you go back 3, 4, 5 years ago, the volume of people who were coming through and complaining through social media and mobile messaging, it was only really a couple of % of all of your inbound volume. And what that meant was that, for small, medium-sized businesses, it really wasn't a lot of volume. And it was something that probably their existing agents could, you may only have a couple of agents, maybe they're just doing it on the side. But if you're a big business, even 2% is still a lot. And so, the big businesses, even in those early days, were still setting up 10, 20, 30 full-time agents to do customer service through social media and mobile messaging. And we were really kind of catering to that audience. Now, today, it's actually starting to shift a bit because, as you start really promoting, if you start promoting like Message Us as your main customer service channel, or if you're using the new Facebook Messenger customer chat plugin, which allows you to actually power web chat on your site using Facebook Messenger. We have customers who are doing that, and Facebook Messenger is now responsible for 44% of all of their service volume, including phone and email.
Wow.
And so once the volumes start getting that high, which they do if you're promoting it, then, obviously, even if you have a much smaller team of agents, you're still going to need multiple agents just handling social and messaging. And then a platform like Conversocial becomes extremely valuable. So you still need to have a team, but the companies that need a team of that size for social and messaging are becoming smaller and smaller as the volumes keep getting bigger and bigger.
Amazing. So your business caters to the type of customer that needs the information like now, right? Gone are the days when you'd write a letter and submit it to the organization through the mail, and a couple of weeks or months later you get back a response. The clients that we're dealing with nowadays, they're in the now age. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, we live in an in-the-moment world, right, where people expect an almost real-time response to everything, right? And if you're going to take days to respond, well, sorry, they're probably just going to phone you at that point, right? People need an answer, or they'll just go to a competitor.
True.
That's the reality. But on the flip side, one of the great things about digital messaging and asynchronous messaging, as opposed to kind of traditional web chat, is that it's more like texting a friend. Right. And texting a friend is pretty much real time, even if they're responding in 5 minutes. And if there's occasionally a message that takes a little bit longer, and some are shorter, like that's fine. Right. In the traditional web chat world, that doesn't work, because the web chat world, they're like sitting there with the chat box open, waiting for a response. And so you have to have concurrent agents online responding within seconds. But with asynchronous messaging, you can even out those bumps a lot more easily. And you can have a smaller number of agents handling a much larger number of customers as a result. Because, as soon as you respond, it pops up as a notification on their phone. They don't have to be sitting there paying attention all the time. So it's very convenient, both for customers and for customer service agents.
Very good. Now, what are some of the things based on the line of business that you are in that you see coming into play in the very near future in terms of customer service and, this whole social media realm that we've all embarked on? It's so new, I mean, for persons like myself that have kids, they grew up into the social media era. They don't know anything else. What do you see coming as, things that we need to prepare ourselves for more as businesses?
So messaging is really what's growing to kind of dominate the industry. And depending on where you are, there are different messaging platforms. Now, the one that's, I think, very, very exciting for people in many areas of the world, especially Europe, UK, South America, is WhatsApp. WhatsApp is just such a dominant messaging platform. It's completely replaced SMS in many parts of the world.
That's so true.
And they're just starting to experiment with business accounts. And the kind of word on the street is that at some point this year, probably early this year, they're going to be releasing business accounts fully and releasing an API, which allows platforms like ours to help our customers manage them. And we think that as soon as that happens, it's going to become a huge, huge business to consumer channel. I think a lot of businesses are desperate for it. A lot of clients, customers would love it. Super convenient. People are using it all the time already. So I think that's going to really explode this year. The other one, which is super interesting, probably not going to explode in the same way, because they're going to be much more careful and constrained about how they release it, is Apple Business Chat. So this is Apple's business chat solution built on top of iMessage. So iMessage is Apple's messaging system that is kind of deeply integrated with text messaging. So, as long as you're both on an iPhone, it goes blue, and that's with iMessage, and it gives you more capabilities. So they're enabling brands to have business accounts. And what's exciting about this, there are two main exciting things. One is security. They're very well known for their privacy and security, similar to WhatsApp in that regard. The other thing is discoverability. And this is where they're going to really have a very interesting advantage over other messaging platforms. And there are two parts to it. One is in Maps. So if you're in Apple Maps, looking at a restaurant, a local restaurant, or a coffee shop, there could be a button there that says message them. And you'll be able to just message them straight away and be like, hey, I want to order this or I want to order that. Tightly integrated with Apple Pay, so you could just pay seamlessly and then go and pick it up or they deliver it. And that could actually act as a kind of disintermediary from like the kind of Postmates and the Seamless and stuff like that, who at the moment are kind of sitting in between, but potentially that's going to make it super easy to go straight to a restaurant. So that's one area of discoverability in the Maps. The other area is with Siri, the voice assistant. And this is where it gets really cool, especially for big brands. We work with Hyatt Hotels. If you want to like message them saying you want to extend your stay for a night, well, how do you do that today? You have to like look up. You could message them on Facebook if you know about that and you have the app. You could DM them on Twitter. There's all these things that they're promoting in interesting ways. But with Business Chat, you'll just be able to say, hey, Siri, message Hyatt, tell them I want to stay another night. Bam, it's done. No app needed, nothing else. It knows who Hyatt is. It just like sends that message and Hyatt can respond over text. And you could even pay using Apple Pay on your phone if you wanted.
Wow.
So that's a pretty cool and like seamlessly integrated experience. And will make, potentially bring voice assistants into like how people are engaging with businesses for the first time. Apple are going to be very careful in how they roll that out and the brands they work with, because they want to make sure they create really nice experiences. Mm-hmm. But I think there's some really exciting stuff with that, and I think it could be pretty meaningful.
Very good. A big part of what I heard in a lot of what you said a while ago was convenience. Mm-hmm. And I think convenience is definitely one of the key differentiators that businesses who are disrupting the whole customer experience platform, they're really, killing it in that area, making life more convenient for their customers, because that to me is just very convenient.
Yeah, and there is a huge amount of data which talks about the benefit for this. My favorite book on this subject is Effortless Experience by CEB, who are now part of Gartner. And it's a book that I've given to a lot of my clients. And Effortless Experience pulls together a huge amount of data from years of like large studies. And it shows that the most important thing that affects customer loyalty after a service interaction is the effort that they have to put in to getting their issue resolved. When someone has a problem or a complaint or an issue, they just want that issue to be solved as soon as possible, as easily as possible. And it's very hard to increase their loyalty, following any service interaction. Even if you really go crazy, go above and beyond, they had an issue and you solved it, and like, great, they're not going to be ecstatic. Maybe they'll be a little bit happier. Mm-hmm. What happens in the majority of cases is that their loyalty is reduced. And the data shows that if you do anything that makes it harder for them to get their issue solved, it has a massive negative impact on loyalty. If you make them jump through any hoops to speak to an agent, if they have to repeat themselves, if they have to tell one person one thing and then they have to like speak to someone else and tell the same thing again, like anything like that, which is just annoying and hassle, or that puts them on hold, it has a really, really negative impact. And so if you can just reduce that effort, then you can have a massive impact on customer loyalty. And really, I think this is at the core of what makes social and messaging so powerful, is that they're just so effortless. I actually I actually have spent all last year writing a book as well, which is going to be coming out this quarter, which I'm excited about. And it's going to be called Message Me. It's all about the future of customer service and looks at the impact of messaging and AI. And I talk a lot about effortless experience in that book, because I think that in many ways they kind of figured out the foundation and they kind of asked this question of how do you make it effortless? And I don't think the technology was really there at the time when they wrote the book to actually implement it. But I think that with messaging, we finally do have the technology to implement a service channel which really can be completely effortless for consumers. And that's super exciting.
Amazing, amazing. And one of the things that I'm most amazed about as it relates to customer experience as well is regardless of where you are from in the world or however you are socialized, whether you're from Europe, North America, South America, the Caribbean, at the end of the day, customers, I think because we're all human beings, we're all yearning for that connection. We're all yearning for some of the, basic needs to be met. I really think, as you say, I do agree. If you have to put in less effort, you are more likely to go along with that particular service provider because they make life much easier for you. I mean, you have so many hurdles to jump over in a daily basis. Worse, if you're running a business, you're a family maker, you have a husband to take care of or a wife, kids, up and down. There's so many things pulling you in all different directions. So if you can do business with an organization that is looking out for you in that aspect and they're pulling you in less directions and they make it super easy, kind of like Amazon, you can sit down in the convenience of your own home and basically order whatever you'd like to order and it's delivered to you. You don't have to go into the store and stress yourself out walking up and down, figuring out which aisle it is in. Everything can be purchased with the click of a button. It really does definitely drive you to be loyal to that organization because you look back on those experiences and that's what would make you continue doing business with them.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's so important. And I think not enough businesses really pay attention to it today.
Yeah.
People are used to the kind of looking at measuring customer satisfaction and NPS, but I'd actually love to see more and more businesses measuring effort and measuring how convenient, how effortless was it for them to get help. I think that would be really, really impactful for a lot of businesses.
Mm-hmm. As you said that, something just popped in my head like a BFO, a blinding flash of the obvious. Is there a formula that exists out there to measure effort?
So we have, there isn't a standard kind of well-known way in the same way that you have NPS, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a great case study from one of our customers, BT, British Telecom, big telecoms company in the UK, where they took this pretty seriously. And they created what they called a net easy score. And very, very simple. They just asked people after a service interaction, how did you find that experience? How did you find, how hard or easy was it to resolve the experience? And it was just 3 answers. Either it was easy to resolve, it was difficult, or it was kind of neutral. So super simple question. And they rolled that out across all of their service channels. And they started tracking customer retention and the retention of the customers who'd reported that they had an easy service experience versus the customers who said they had a hard service experience. And they found a huge difference. They found that customers who'd had a hard service experience or difficult to resolve their issue were 40% more likely to churn over the next 3 months. 40% more likely, which is a huge, huge number.
Mm-hmm.
So they found it made a massive, massive impact on whether those customers would stay as customers or not. And when they actually looked at the different, the kind of net easy score, as they called it, for different channels, they found that it was social media and messaging and web chat that were the easiest channels by a long way. They were easier than phone by 4 to 1. And they were easier than email and self-service by 2 to 1.
Wow.
So huge, huge impact on their business from understanding that. And they use a pretty simple way of asking the question.
Mm-hmm. And this question is asked after every interaction with their business, or is it maybe a question that they ask maybe on a yearly basis based on the customers who are their clients?
Yeah, they did it. They did the actual surveys before we started working with them. So I don't know exactly how they do it. the way that we help our clients do surveys today through social and messaging is that after a service interaction has been closed and resolved, then we send out an automatic survey inside the messaging thread for either Facebook Messenger or Twitter that asks them whatever question they want to have set up.
Gotcha.
For CSAT, NPS, etc. And so it's after every service interaction. And I think that's the best way to get that kind of data.
True. Yes, because people do remember the experience that they've had within the first 24 hours. And then after that, if it's not super great or really bad, they really don't remember the details. So yeah, I agree. That question should be asked after each interaction.
Yeah. Yeah. And we see the faster you get it out after the issue is being resolved, the higher the response rate.
True. Very true. Agreed. All right, Josh, could you tell us how you stay motivated every day?
How I stay motivated? I'm pretty generally, I'm a pretty highly motivated person in general, I would say. My overall motivation is really about the stuff that we want to achieve as a business. And when I set out starting the business, I had this kind of very clear vision, right? I was like, these channels are there's a reason that everyone is switching to these channels from a consumer perspective. And that's because it's a better channel. It's more efficient. It's easier. It's more convenient. It's on everyone's phone. Organized the way that messaging organizes communication, which is kind of by people instead of subjects, is more natural. I was like, this is just a better way of communicating. And I really believed and still believe that if companies switch to these forms of communication, then it's better for them and better for the customers. And we kind of set out that vision, and we set out this clear mission of saying, we want to really build the kind of next generation customer service software that's all focused around these new channels, which we really believe are better. And I get a huge amount of motivation from seeing us kind of make that vision become a reality. Every company that we sign up as a customer, who then starts more actively promoting these channels and increasing the volume of service issues they're dealing with messaging instead of phone and email. All of that really gets me excited, and I love to see that continuing success and performance and the things that we're achieving as a business. And I'm kind of prepared to do whatever it takes to help us make that vision become a reality. I don't really think too much about specifically what do I enjoy doing during the day or not. It's really just about, what do I need to do in order to help us be successful? And that's what really gets me excited.
All right. Sounds good. So in all this excitement in terms of ensuring that, your clients are meeting your clients' need and they feel successful at the end of the interactions with you, what's the one online tool, website, or app that you couldn't absolutely live without in your business?
I think I'd probably have to say Twitter. We obviously use lots of different technology in the business, and we love using different technology. Mm-hmm. Twitter has this incredible network, and I use it a lot personally. We're kind of tied to it from the news these days, but we use it a huge amount as a business as well. We connect with a lot of our customers on there. We connect with a lot of influencers and other thought leaders. We do a lot of thought leadership and share a lot of thought leadership through it. So I think it's just added such value to my life and to the business that I think we'll have to say Twitter.
All right. Now, you shared one book with us already, Effortless Experience. Yep. Are there any other books that have had the biggest impact on you in your career?
Yeah, so Effortless Experience, certainly from a kind of approach to customer service perspective. Mm-hmm. From a kind of management perspective, I think The Hard Thing About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz. It's probably my favorite and has been the most impactful book from a management perspective. Mm-hmm. Kind of really, part kind of entrepreneur's journey and part how to really scale a business and manage a management team, and very raw and very real. It's a lot of really, really valuable insight. So I think that's been one of my favorite books. Other than that, I love reading sci-fi. So I read a huge amount of sci-fi, which I think actually gives me tons of business ideas and ideas about the future, which I think is actually super valuable for anyone, especially especially entrepreneurs working in technology, I think should absolutely read a lot of sci-fi.
Yeah, that's it's a very unusual genre of books to read, but I can see where you're coming from with it because it kind of opens your mind to the impossible, right? And that's where we're
100%.
heading.
Yeah, completely. And then, of course, if you're interested in customer service and a future customer service, you should read my book, which is going to be coming out pretty soon.
All right.
Which I mentioned earlier as well.
Good. So maybe that dovetails into our next question, which is what's the one thing that's going on in your life right now that you're really excited about? Either something that you're working on to develop yourself or your people. Would that be your book?
Yeah, I think the book was the kind of my main kind of passion project over the last year. I really wanted to kind of get down on paper two things, both my kind of thoughts as to what businesses need to be doing today to really benefit from messaging, benefit from automation, how they need to really structure customer service teams, how to train agents, how to promote these things in the right way. But then also my vision for how messaging and artificial intelligence are really going to change customer service in the years ahead. So that's been a big labor of love. Actually just went to the printers a few days ago, so pretty excited about that. So that's a really big one. Outside of that, I'm also a big fan of personal development. I've been getting more and more into meditation over the last year, and in a few weeks, I'm actually about to go and do my first meditation retreat, where I'll be on a silent meditation retreat for 10 days.
Wow!
So I'm excited about that. Excited and slightly nervous.
Very good. All right, that sounds exciting. A meditation retreat. You do learn something new every day.
Indeed.
All right, Josh. Now, could you tell our listeners where they could find you online? They've listened to this interview. They've really been interested in some of the things that you have to say. The fact that we spoke about measuring effort, the books that you've shared with us, the potential of what your business has to offer now, and, the potential that it's going to offer in the future, how to connect with you. Let's say they're really interested in, catching up on your journey and probably even purchasing your book, Message Me, that's going to be released in a few weeks. Where can they find you online?
Sure. The best place to find me is on Twitter. I'm at Joshua March, MARCH. And then there's links from there to the book, to everything else, and I'll share most things that are going on. And then, of course, for Conversocial, you can find us at conversocial.com, at Conversocial on Twitter. You can find us on LinkedIn. All of wherever you want to connect with us, we'll be and we'll be engaging, sharing content. We do a lot of blogs and a lot of reports, white papers, research. So if you're interested in the kind of social and messaging space when it comes to customer care, we have a huge amount, and we have a newsletter which you can sign up to at conversocial.com as well.
All right. Sounds good. So we're going to have all of those links in the show notes of this episode, how you can connect with Josh, as well as the books that he shared that have had the greatest impact on him. Now, before we wrap up, we always like to ask our guests, is there a quote or a saying that during times of adversity or challenge, you kind of revert to this quote? It kind of helps you to refocus on, what your purpose is in life. Do you have one of those?
And the thing that came to mind as soon as you said that was the quote by Winston Churchill, another great Brit, who said, "When going through hell, keep going." And I really, really love that quote. I think that the key for any entrepreneur, certainly, but I think this is really true of anyone trying to achieve anything big in life, is really persistence and grit, right? It's, whatever you do and whatever you try and do, especially, and the bigger the thing you try and do, the more ambitious it is, the harder it's going to be, the more roadblocks you're going to face, the more mistakes you're going to make and failures you're going to have. Every single person, no matter how successful, has those failures. And in fact, the more successful you are, the more failures you've had. And, the key throughout all of it is just to never give up and to keep going, pick yourself up, learn from your mistakes, keep evolving. And that's really, really the only thing that's going to get you anywhere in life.
It's so interesting you said that, because I started back the gym yesterday, and this morning I was, oh my goodness, I was like, I can't do this anymore. And when I looked up on the wall, the quote on the wall said, "Giving up is not an option." And it just kind of stuck with me.
Good. Yeah, go back to that gym. It's important.
Yes. So it kind of stuck with me, and I was like, you know what? I have to push through. Even if I can't do it, I'm going to go until I cannot go anymore.
Awesome.
All right. I really enjoyed this interview. Thank you so much, Josh, for taking time out of your very busy schedule to basically share with us all of these wonderful nuggets, great information, things that the entrepreneurs that listen to this podcast can actually use in their personal life as well as in their businesses, whether they're small businesses or they're big conglomerations that would need to utilize the services of Conversocial. And even if they're not utilizing your service, there are definitely ways in which they can connect with you to help to build them and grow themselves in a way that will help to make the world a better place.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. So until next time, I'm your host, Yannick Grant. We really appreciate your support of this podcast. Are you ready to grow your business even more? Or improve your leadership skills? Or train your team members in the art of customer service? Give us a call at 305-848-0815 or visit our website at www.yannickgrant.com. That's YANNIQUEGRANT.com. Remember, 305-848-0815 or visit our website at yannickgrant.com. Our new online course, Mastering Customer Experience and Increasing Your Revenue, is now available. The link for this will be on the show notes of each episode starting September 7, 2016. The first 2 modules are free, so hop on over, have a look, and take the steps to increase your revenue.
Thanks for listening. For more awesome resources to take your customer service game to another level, head over to navigatingthecustomerexperience.com. See you next time.